I'm Susan Phillips Moskowitz from Mrs. Moskowitz's Knits. I'm going to teach you how to knit today. It's Susan Moskowitz again, and I'm going to show you how to purl. In a previous sample, we already had our knitted stitches on. We have 8 stitches, and this is the view having just finished knitting. For purling, you're going to turn that needle around so your needle in your left hand is pointed to the right, and you can see that when you're ready to purl, there are little tiny bumps on this side. So you always want to look for the bumps to know that you're ready to purl, depending on your instructions in your pattern. Then you take your right needle and put it through, and this time you want to have your right needle be in the front of the left needle. And you take the yarn in your right hand, you put it through both, you hold it, and then you're going to pull down on the right needle, up on the left, and pull it through. And there's your first purl stitch. So you take your right needle, you point it to the left, hold the 2 in your left hand, throw the yarn, come through, hold the yarn with your thumb, pull it down, push up, and push off. Go through, down, up, and push off, in, throw the yarn, hold the 2 needles, go down, up, and push off, in between, should be in between like that, see your yarn, pull it down, up, and push off, and in between. Once you learn this, you're going to be able to go much faster. I'm doing it slowly for beginning knitters. And here's stitch 7, throw it over, hold it with your thumb, down, up, and push off. Here's stitch number 8, throw it over, down, up, and push off. And once again, you just want to pull your work, and that's your purl. So you see, you still see these bumps, and if you wanted to do what's called the stockinette stitch, you've just made the stockinette stitch, which means we knitted 1 row, that's the knit side, we purled back, and that creates the stockinette stitch. Hello, it's Susan Moskowitz again, and now I'm going to show you how to bind off. Usually beginning knitters bind off when they've finished their purl side and it looks like you're ready to do a knit stitch. So your stitches are on the needle in your left hand, and your right hand is holding the needle. Your right needle goes in behind the left needle. You take your yarn and you make your first stitch. And when you bind off, you want to do this loose, very loose, so that it doesn't pucker. You make your second stitch, up in front, and then to do the bind off, you take the needle that's in your left hand, you reach in to that first stitch and you bring it over the second stitch, push it through and off, and then remember, keep it loose. Then you make another stitch, down and up, so you have 2 stitches. And now again, you go in with your left needle to that first stitch, you grab it with your thumb, come over that second stitch and push up and take it off your needle. And here comes another stitch, come through, off, and again you have 2 stitches. You come over to one, you grab it, come over that second stitch, push through and off. Grab that first stitch, come over the second stitch, and slide it off. And we're going to finish this, and then I will hold it up to show you what it looks like. The first stitch, grab it, come over, and go through. Here's stitch number 7. Grab that first stitch, come over, push it off, and slide it off. Here's the last stitch. Again, you have 2 stitches, put it in that first stitch, come over, and now you have your last stitch. So now you want to sort of tighten it up. You have it like that, and take your needle off, and then you will want to cut it right about there, and you will have your bind off. And there it is, nice and loose, so if you're putting it together or you're adding fringe for a scarf, there's no puckering, and that's your bind off.